Everything versus everything. Fight!
Hello everyone and welcome to Everything vs. Everything, episode 12! Woo!
Woohoo!
I'm here again on my own in a room talking to myself, but it's okay because I have my imaginary friends on the internet who are called...
Gavin!
Mark!
Yeah, we should probably have agreed an order in advance there.
We should have, that would have helped.
Oh well. Nice to have you two back again for another exciting adventure in the field of ranking things in order from best to worst. This is what we do on this podcast. How are you two today?
Very well.
Oh, good.
Very well, it's a bit warm here.
It's very warm
we'll
here
manage.
too. We've all got our windows... my window's open. But...
I ran my AC all night so that it was cold enough to record without having the air conditioning on, so...
Well, we appreciate that.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
It was necessary.
We better get on and bring a thing, because clearly there's nothing else for us in the barren wastes of the introduction. So bring a thing! Bring a thing is where each of us bring a thing, and it can be anything we want. It doesn't have to be related to the theme of the episode. It can be a piece of toast, it can be some moisturiser, but it probably won't be one of those things, because that would be a big coincidence. Who wants to get us started this time? Shall we go with... Mark, you never start.
I never start, that's true. Okay, I'll start. I would like to bring the wearing of shorts. Short trousers I would like to bring.
Interesting.
I am in favour of the banning of wearing of short trousers.
Wow.
I don't agree with them at all. I don't wish... I'm talking about on male persons here, really. I don't wish to
sexist.
see... Yeah, exactly. I don't wish to see people's legs. I don't like shorts. I don't think I own any shorts. If I do, I'll throw them away immediately after this. Especially at work. I don't want people wearing shorts at work. This is my main objection. I don't really want to see them wearing shorts at all, but I especially don't want to see them wearing shorts at work. And I'd be interested to get Gavin's perspective on this, as someone who works in a hotter location than I do. I know here, as soon as it's even slightly warm, there are people who start wearing shorts. Not acceptable as far as I'm concerned. I'd like to know how it works in places where it's more usually hot.
Well, funny enough, I had a conversation this week about, because I started a new job and I have to dress business casual. But the funny thing is, over here you have this issue of, do you dress for the incredible heat outside, or do you dress for the incredible chilly air conditioning inside?
Yes.
Because it's not like it's warm inside, it's actually incredibly cold. So
yes.
I actually often find myself being far too hot outside purely because I've dressed so that I'm not too cold inside, because I spend more time sitting in a chilly air conditioned place. But shorts are great when you're going out and it's a sunny day. I mean, they get a little bit of breeze between your legs and, they're practical. I love shorts. I think they're great.
I don't want a breeze between my legs. That's a terrible thing. I don't need that.
I have a confession to make,
Yeah.
which is that I'm wearing shorts right now.
Oh, Alex.
I'm in my own house, to be fair, and I don't tend to wear shorts when I go out.
I don't think I want to legislate for what you do in your own house. I think I'm probably all right with that, but I don't really want you going outside in them.
I disagree with that, but I think at work, I agree at work it's not professional. But that said, if you work in a place where it's kind of a casual dress code, then I don't really object to it. I don't really mind seeing people's legs. It doesn't bother me.
I don't believe anywhere is casual enough to allow shorts, except possibly a surfing school or something.
No, there's places.
That will be about it.
Do you ever wear shorts even if you go on holiday to a very, very warm place?
I don't, no.
Wow.
I tend not to go to warm places when it's really warm there. I'll go at a cooler time of year, usually.
Maybe if you wore shorts, you'd be more inclined to do so.
That's an interesting point you make. I'll take that under advisement. But, just don't do it.
Well, To be honest, I don't wear shorts very much, certainly not out of the house, but I'm coming round to the opinion that they're actually quite a good thing to wear if you want to be comfortable. I can see the argument that you don't want to see other people's horrible legs in your face when you're out in public. But
Exactly.
also, like, for me, it's a choice between that. I say a choice. It's probably not as simple as either or, but for me it's that or I get really sweaty and smell horrible. So either way I'm going to be like disgusting someone in one way or the other. So, you know, shorts, at least you can close your eyes or avert your eyes and not look at me. Go on.
I don't have these objections with shorts. I mean, particularly if you go to the gym or you're exercising. Like, you've been going for runs, Mark. Like, shorts are easier to move in. They keep you a bit cooler.
I wear trousers to go running.
Well, that's just insane.
It's not.
It is. Well, I mean, I don't know. If you wear joggers or something, sure. If they've got the elasticity to move, then fair enough.
They do.
But like running in shorts is an equally valid way, and it keeps you cooler. I have no objection to shorts. I think they're a pretty good thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page.
Oh,
I mean,
well.
sometimes I like the legs I see. Let's be honest here.
Well, okay.
Oh.
A little bit of ankle, ooh.
My objection to the legs is only a very slight objection. I'm not actually that bothered about the legs. I just don't like shorts.
I mean, I can see why you might not want to wear them yourself. I would feel self-conscious going out in public with them, but I sort of think that that's irrational. And
It kind of is. Like, exposing your calves is
I've been
Are
not...
you
sort of-
calling me irrational?
I've been sort of like training myself to go, people aren't judging me for what I'm wearing in public. You're
Oh,
just
I
being
am.
silly. And then you come along and you're like, get your disgusting legs out of my field of vision. So I feel like you've set me back in terms of my self-therapy.
Well, you were going the wrong way.
We were talking about like nudity on one of our recent episodes, and yeah, I think you're a victim of the taboo about seeing naked skin, and I get where you're coming from there, but I just think it's maybe something you need to deal with.
I agree.
Oh, okay. So I'm getting no support here.
No.
No support at all.
I will defend shorts.
Ugh.
You maybe don't like them, but other people should surely have the option to wear them.
I don't like other people wearing them. It's not. Let me get this right. I don't like seeing other people wearing shorts. It's not that I don't
Okay.
like shorts,
Some
although I don't
people-
wear them
But
myself.
specifically men.
Specifically men. I don't want to see it.
Ooh.
I want to say something, but I don't know if I can say it.
You
Some
can say it, Alex.
some people don't like seeing people of other races out in public, and that's not
Are we
okay.
going there? Are we? Right.
And that's that's irrational and shouldn't be a thing because it's not hurting anyone.
Yeah, it's not hurting you to see a bit of calf.
Again, it's not the calf that's the problem. It's
I'm
the
taking my
shorts.
trousers off right now.
Is that relevant to the discussion, or is it just something that you were
No, I'm just having
doing
a good
anyway?
time.
I was rather assuming you weren't wearing any trousers. Anyway,
I thought that was the rule for this.
I know I'm not. So, roundabout slippers on the list. That's where they should be. Wearing of shorts should be way down there.
I'll admit that they don't have they're not the most important thing in the world, but I'd probably put
No.
them near t-shirts or something, or
T-shirts
you
and
know,
shorts
that-
kind of go together. like-
yeah.
Oh no. Okay. All right.
Slippers
okay.
are
As long
pretty
as
low down though.
I mean, t-shirts are probably less controversial, to be fair. Although I didn't really think of shorts as controversial until just now.
Yes.
they're very controversial.
Where are t-shirts on the list? I can't even find them.
48.
48.
Wait, they're worse than shirts?
They are worse than shirts.
Goodness
yeah.
me.
I think we may have made a mistake there, to be honest. On reflection, I think
Most
we may have
certainly.
put those
Yeah,
the wrong
that's
way round.
that's completely wrong. Who's done
I mean,
that?
given the choice, I wear t-shirts every single day until the time I am inflicted with a smart casual dress code, or even worse,
Yeah,
a more
you're
an
right. I
actual
think-
formal dress code. So
Maybe we can fix that later. But yeah,
perhaps.
So you're talking about the wearing of shorts.
It's the wearing of shorts, I think. I'm not sure it's the shorts themselves.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it's the wearing of shorts.
Okay.
But specifically, other people wearing them?
Well,
Or the
I mean,
wearing
maybe
of
we
them
we could
personally?
narrow it to the wearing of shorts at on formal occasions, in which I include work. I don't know.
I mean, that's a very different debate, because people wearing them on a formal occasion, I would put pretty low.
Yeah, I mean that seems inadvisable.
But for me, formal is anywhere outside of the house. That's the thing. So you have to.
McDonald's.
Yeah,
What a formal setting.
I make my reservation for McDonald's, and I want to see people dressed properly.
Yeah, you don't want to look like a clown at McDonald's, do you?
Terrible. Can we put them in the 50s somewhere?
I mean, okay, because most
no,
of the things...
They don't have the ethical issues or the bad side of things that are down that far, surely.
But T-shirts are 48. They're definitely not better than T-shirts.
Okay, that's true, but we just discussed that T-shirts are perhaps too low. Okay. I guess I do like some of the things that are lower than that more than I like wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Maybe, controversially, I'd maybe put them below Sonic.
Okay. Yeah.
That is down near Slippers.
Sonic the Hedgehog followed by wearing shorts. This isn't a bad area
of the list. We have a lot of good things on the list. It's not a bad area.
We've
not reached the red section of bad things yet.
There is a sort of inherent imbalance in this list. Most of the things on it are not bad, so I'm okay with Under Sonic, if that's where you think.
Yeah. I think we keep bringing things that you can say good things or bad things about, so there's a lot of middle in the list.
Yes, that's true. Cool. That was controversial, more so than I expected, but good. I'll go next. I would like to bring the TV show Knightmare, which used to air on, I think, CITV back in the day.
I've only ever seen it on Challenge, which is where they give it a good re-airing.
But yes, I loved it as a child and continued to watch it on Challenge way longer than I should have into my adult years. And it was my dream to be on it. In case you don't know what it was basically a sort of virtual reality-ish game show type thing where there'd be teams of kids in their sort of like early teens or maybe a bit younger, and one of them would be the Dungeoneer, and they would have a helmet put on their head that stopped them from seeing straight in front of them, and then they would be put in a virtual sort of dungeon thing. It turns out that it's actually just a big blue room, which is disappointing if you grew up watching it and being enchanted by it. But basically they're superimposing, or they're like, what's the word? They're doing effects on footage of that person to make it look like they're standing in these weird like dungeon rooms and corridors and stuff, and in these sort of weird situations. And there's actors that come along and interact with them, and basically they're on an adventure, and they've got these 3 other people guiding them who are looking at the screen. I'm explaining this very badly, but basically the other 3 can see the sort of fake virtual world that's been created around this person, and they are guiding him because he can't see properly, and they're telling him where to go, like walk forward, sidestep left, sidestep right, go to the table, pick up the thing, and then there's characters that they talk to, and they have to solve puzzles, and it's very, very difficult, and surprisingly few of them actually make it to the end of their quest, and most of them end up dying in very silly animated ways, and it was fun. I really wanted to be on it, but I never was. And I'll regret that forever because it's not on the air anymore.
Perhaps with the resurgence of things like the Crystal Maze, and I'm hearing rumour of other shows like that coming back, you never know. I think there was a Fringe version of it where people recreated it. So
yeah, there was. I didn't go to that, but there have been various attempts to do various things with it because it has a sort of cult status. I used to get like a fanzine for it, actually, like a weird little newsletter that talked about it. I was quite obsessed for a little while.
Here's the important thing though, Alex. If you went on the show, you would be standing in a blue room blindfolded.
I know, yeah. That's
so
the thing.
It maybe isn't as exciting or thrilling. You're not genuinely going... I think you would rather be one of the people watching and guiding someone, surely.
Probably.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you want to be the Dungeoneer or did you want to be one of the 3?
I mean, I think the Dungeoneer just... It seems like such a thrilling thing to do, and it probably wasn't, because, I mean, looking at it from a grown-up point of view and thinking about the practicalities of it, I'm just thinking like, you know, they had a blue room. You'd be able to see, because they could see a little bit out of the bottom of their helmet. You'd see that you were just standing in a blue room, really. And then at the end of each room, they probably have to move you and be like, excuse me, could you come over here, please, and just move you across.
Go back to the start of the blue room, yes.
So it's probably not as exciting as it seemed, but
I think it was probably quite annoying, because I remember every time I watched it, the people who were giving the directions would do that really, really badly. And they would all talk all over each other. They'd be giving conflicting instructions, and then they'd be really confused why the Dungeoneer wasn't able to magically get themselves to the right point. And well, that's because they can't see where they're going, and where they're going doesn't really exist. And the 3 would get really frustrated, and if I was the Dungeoneer, I'd have been yelling back, "Oh, for heaven's sake, will you just tell me where to go?"
Yeah, I mean, it's very frustrating to watch sometimes, because there were a lot of times when the teams would miss things that were very obvious to the people watching at home.
Yeah.
For instance, when someone picked up what the people instructing them thought was a potion, but it actually read poison. And the instructions said, Dungeoneer, to drink the potion. Drink the potion.
I don't know if they actually said drink it, but they were saying potion when it was clearly spelled
I think they told him
poison.
to drink it. I thought, and then he drinks it and he dies.
The other good thing was when the producers would obviously suddenly decide that there needed to be a bit more action, and they would go, "Oh, you're running out of food," and that was never at a fixed time, as far as I could tell. They would just suddenly decide that they were running out of food.
Yeah.
Usually just before they got to a room with some food in it.
Yeah, that's true. There was a lot of that kind of thing, and there were also characters who would chase them and stuff. It was actually quite scary in places. I always thought I'd be quite scared if I was on it, because there were points where there were things chasing you, or like there were dangers. There were 3 levels, and level 3 was just really difficult. And when you got to that, there'd be like a corridor with blades in it, and they were obviously not real blades. They were obviously animated blades that were superimposed on, but it was still very intense in places. And yeah, it was fun, and it's stuck with me over the years.
I think it's worth pointing out that it inspired your other podcast.
Yes, rainydayadventureclub.wordpress.com. Yes, it's definitely made an impact and made me want to emulate it in various ways. There's something about the sort of puzzly sort of adventure type thing. I don't know how to explain it, but it was very, very exciting. And in the same way as the Crystal Maze, I guess. The Crystal Maze was my other game show type thing that I was obsessed with for a while, which we'll have to talk about in future. But yeah, if I'd been on it, I probably would have been terrible, because most teams on it were terrible, and very few of them actually ever won. And I don't blame them for that, but it sort of explodes the sort of myth of like child heroes in films. Like whenever there's a film about a child hero, they're always really sort of capable and confident and seem to know what they're doing to some extent, whereas on Knightmare they would often just be stumbling around in the dark, missing really obvious things. But it was fun. It was always fun.
Did you ever use any of the catchphrases from it in your daily life?
I don't know if I can remember. I mean, I remember ooh, nasty.
That one's good.
I might say that sometimes.
And temporal disruption.
Oh, yes. I like the way they incorporated the end of episodes into the narrative by saying it was a temporal disruption. That was fun.
Yes. I think we say caution team in our house quite a lot.
I feel like there's a really good new version of this where they like use virtual reality, so the person who's actually playing it can see what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So like I feel like there's got to be a new version of this where someone does it in a VR headset and they're superimposed into a more realistic 3D world.
Maybe.
But part of the fun of it was just that it does look like a 1980s game.
There was a virtual reality thing a few years after it with Craig Charles on the BBC, I think, where they stuck people on sort of running machines with virtual reality helmets. It was a very similar thing, but it was adults. And I wish I could remember what it was called.
I vaguely remember that, I think.
It was the one where he used to shout awooga a lot.
I mean, it's certainly not the better of the Craig Charles fronted shows with treadmills, which
Indeed.
is clearly Takeshi's Castle.
Oh wow, that's another. There's so many things that we need to bring eventually. I want to talk about that more. But yeah, I think you're onto something, Gavin, in that part of the appeal of Knightmare is its sort of crudeness, just the graphics sort of look. The graphics are obviously graphics, and I think that sort of helps it avoid the uncanny valley. I think if you got it more realistic looking, then it might end up looking in a way worse because it's closer to reality, so you notice that guy is just clearly superimposed into it, whereas when it's like cartoony dungeon rooms and stuff, then it doesn't really matter.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
So there's a charm to the sort of cheap, cheesy nature of it, and there were some quite cheesy sort of actors involved in it, but that was also part of the fun. Yeah, I don't know where to put it because it's it might be in the sort of trashy TV area, although I kind of want to put it higher because I was obsessed with it.
I'd put it higher.
I think you should put it higher.
Yeah, I want to.
I have a suggestion. How about putting it near the Eurovision Song Contest? Because I think it's a similar thing. It's kind of it's a TV event that everybody really likes, although is not necessarily seen as cool or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I think you're definitely onto something there.
Sure.
I might put it below that because more people are into Eurovision. It's a bigger deal to more people, I think, but it's more international.
Is it definitely better than Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, though?
No, I'm going to put it below that, actually, because I like that.
Yeah.
More.
Okay.
Better than Furbies.
Better than Furbies, yeah. That was good. And now we just have Gavin.
Yes. I'm bringing something that's, I think, hopefully more clear-cut as to where it should go. I'm bringing homeopathy.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Which is a horribly deceptive and ill-thought-out attempt at medicine as far as I understand it, and I did a bit of research, it has absolutely no value. They are entirely sugar pills. And people say sugar pills meaning, oh, they have something in them that doesn't do anything. Genuinely, they don't have anything in them but sugar. As far as I understand it, the principle is that like treats like. So a bit of the thing that's making you ill will make you better, which is just insane. It works with vaccines, but that's a very different principle, because that involves your immune system responding to that. Whereas with this, the idea is that you take a bit of the thing and you dilute it. And on many of these sort of homeopathic medicines, it has a measurement of how many times it was diluted. And apparently the principle is the more diluted it is, the stronger it is, which is just insane. Yep. So many of them are diluted to 30 C. That's the standard. Now C, if I understand it rightly, represents diluting something 1 part to 100 parts of something else, which means that 30C, well, to dilute it to 2C would be to dilute it 1 part to 10,000, if that makes sense. Yep. Yeah. So 2C is 10,000, like 1 part to 10,000 parts of water. So 30C, there wouldn't be one molecule of the thing in the entire ocean. That's how diluted it is. The entire ocean wouldn't even contain one molecule of the thing that you're diluting to dilute it to that level. So literally it has none of the thing in it. And then people are going around telling people that this can cure them and make them better. And I hate pseudoscience. I hate things that take advantage of people who don't necessarily... You know, there's many things out there like this that I feel like are taking advantage of people who I wouldn't necessarily say are gullible. They just want to believe that other things can work in their favor. But it's just so anti-science that it really angers me.
Yeah.
I would agree with all of that. Your maths is entirely correct. There was a campaign a few years ago which was literally called Homeopathy, There's Nothing in It.
That's
on the
good.
basis that there's nothing in it. Yeah, it's unpleasant. It's malicious slightly, I think. Yeah, it's a terrible thing, and I don't really think there's very much more needs to be said.
Yeah.
I mean, the important thing to say, so, I mean, the NHS, who are generally pretty trustworthy, I'd say, they've done, like, extensive research, and to quote them, there is no good quality evidence that homeopathy is effective as a treatment for any health condition. However, they spend about £5 to £6 million a year on homeopathic treatments, which is just nuts, insane. And if that's because patients are requesting it or whatever, I don't care. It's stupid.
Yep.
And I think it really bothers me because ultimately that could lead to someone not getting the treatment they need, or, you know, because in fact, here's a fun anecdote about how there's absolutely nothing in them. I was working on a film where we needed an actor to take like an entire bottle of pills because I think they were attempting to kill themselves. And we went to a pharmacy and asked the pharmacist, is there anything safe that looks like pills that we could take like a whole thing of? And they were like, yeah, you could take anything from the homeopathic section. Like, and this was just in a booth. And they had like a whole wall of these treatments. And they all cost different amounts, which is just insane because they're all sugar pills. Oh, excuse me, but anger.
Yeah.
Looking at it, trying to be balanced. Some people believe it works. I'm going to disregard that as a good thing because it doesn't. But I will allow the fact that there is the possibility of a placebo effect at play here. But I think it's important to note that placebos, when prescribed by doctors, actually are being done with a bit of purpose. People taking them who think they're getting better, they are probably avoiding medicine that will actually help them. So I think we have to disregard the fact that the placebo effect may help them. And interestingly, you know, when doctors are doing comparisons of how a new medication works, they use a placebo as a marker. What do they call that again?
Control group.
A control, yeah. So they have a control group taking a placebo. Literally, the thing that real medication is being tested against as working is sugar pills. As in, they are a measure of something that doesn't have any effect. Homeopathic remedies are at the level of which we test real medicine against.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with everything you said. They definitely are bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially with big companies taking advantage of people. That's just awful.
We can have a longer conversation and make a lot of jokes about it, but, you know, it's not actually funny. It's kind of how I think about it.
If you want to see someone ranting quite effectively about homeopathy, there's a good video by James Randi on YouTube. If you search for James Randi homeopathy, there's a good... Well, there's actually a few videos of him like giving a talk about it, and he makes some of the same points that you've made, Gavin. He also downs a bottle of homeopathic sleeping pills, and he's done that apparently hundreds of times times in his life, it's never had any effect.
It's brave to do it at the start of a lecture. Well, it's not, because he actually understands it.
If you know there's absolutely nothing.
Well,
in
the worst that's going to happen
yes.
is you choke. That's the only thing.
So if anything, that's a bad thing. I mean, to me, they should go at the bottom of the list, below Piers Morgan, because...
Whoa. Okay.
No, but I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yep.
Piers Morgan is but one person, and as bad as he can be, there are doubtlessly some good things that he has done, I'm sure. I don't know what they are. But equally, he cannot do the harm that homeopathy has done and will continue to do for many, many, many years.
Okay.
And I think that is the issue with it. It's one thing somebody taking sugar pills themselves because they believe it makes them better. That's fine. No problem with that. It's suggesting to other people that they might like to do this, and that person not going to see a proper doctor because they've seen this charlatan who's told them that they can get better by taking nothing at all. It's obscene.
Agreed.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to put it at the bottom. Ooh,
oh, good.
Glad
to get that off my chest.
Very serious one, and we have another serious one coming up in Head to Head. Head to Head today, we are talking about two age-old rival things which have battled it out for many, many centuries. And those things are hands and feet. Anyone have any immediate thoughts about which is better?
Hands.
Hands are better.
Yeah.
Hands are better.
I think hands are better.
Right, next.
Feet are worse.
Yeah, I mean... Aesthetically, feet have never done it for me. I know they do it for some people, and I'm not going to judge those people, but hands are just sort of good. They're very useful.
Yeah, there's nothing that... I mean, obviously feet are necessary for walking. I appreciate that. But if you didn't have your feet, I think, as difficult as that would be, not having hands would perhaps present more issues, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, you can learn to live without either, but yeah, if I had to choose personally, definitely chop my feet off.
I think feet are less well designed as well. I think there's more can go wrong with your feet. I mean, you would hear reasonably often about someone having a broken foot, but you don't often hear about somebody having a broken hand.
No.
And you can have, I don't know, athlete's foot and all kinds of things like that. There are no hand equivalents of that sort of thing. The hand is just an intrinsically better thing.
I guess. But I mean, we're to play devil's advocate here. Like, we're asking feet are the underdogs, really. They're right down there on the ground. I was going to say getting their hands dirty, but...
Yeah, getting themselves
getting
dirty.
Their toes wet.
And we don't say thank you much. I feel like hands, we're more sort of connected to them because we see them, we touch our face with them sometimes, and we probably feel closer to our hands, but feet are just down there toiling away, not really getting the recognition they deserve. But
I mean, they have fewer functions.
Yeah, they smell worse, but again, that's probably because they're down there in the dirt. I don't know. Maybe there's less to say about this than I thought. It's not much of a debate so far. I would certainly agree that hands
Hands can do many, many things. Feet are fairly limited in what they can do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at evolution, I'm probably going to get this slightly confused, but I mean, we are in some ways connected to the chimpanzee, and they basically have hands for feet. Basically, and that is so much better because then you have four hands.
Wow, that's a very good point.
Yeah, so our feet are pretty crap compared to their feet.
Well, as far as I know, there's not like things that they can't do, and they're like, "Damn it, I wish we had feet instead of these stupid feet hands."
That's right.
Like if we had hands on both our arms and at the bottom of our legs, and you could walk on them, but they could also function as hands.
Yeah.
Totally better.
Yeah.
Totally better.
Whereas if you had feet for hands.
Yeah, the foot is just
Far
a hand
worse.
that doesn't work properly. That's all it is.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the toes aren't really long enough or flexible enough or independent enough. It's hard to move one of your toes independently of the others.
That said, I mean, I have seen, I can't remember where, but definitely on TV and in documentaries, there are people who are disabled and don't necessarily have hands who are able to use their feet, and they have a certain level of dexterity that they've built up purely because we don't use our feet that often because they're less useful or less helpful. If you don't have hands, you can make your feet serve the purpose.
Yeah.
They're still not as good as hands would be. However, they're more functional. It's just because we don't use them enough because we've got hands. Because they're better.
I guess. Maybe they're like the younger child who just doesn't get the attention and therefore doesn't flourish as much as the older child. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe if we put as much effort into learning to use our feet, like manipulate our feet.
I can pick things up with my feet.
It's tricky, but yeah.
It can be done.
I often walk around without socks or shoes on, and I can generally, rather than bend down and pick something up, I can generally pick up things with my feet. And
we generally will cover them in public as well.
I was thinking that they do seem to need to be covered. They need protecting from the the ground, so they're not even fully up to the job that they've taken on, because they require shoes.
I know, you don't even it's not even like you're just putting socks on. It's not the equivalent of putting gloves on your hands. It's the equivalent of putting gloves on your hands and then putting another really stiff leather glove over the top of that glove. You're really having to work to make them function. Is
this just so? To go back to other animals, then we kind of decided chimpanzees possibly have 4 hands. But if you look at something like a horse, which has 4 feet, I don't know.
Yes.
Do they suffer from lack of hands?
Well,
I think they do.
It's harder for them to peel bananas.
Imagine horses with hands.
They can run better than chimpanzees.
Well, here's the point. Look at a centaur.
Right.
That's a horse with 4 feet and 2 hands. So much more functional than a regular horse.
It's also not real, Gavin, though.
Well, still. Again, my point being that you compare something with 4 hands to something with 4 feet, and here's one that's got both. The one with hands is always better. The thing is, I wonder if the reason our feet, going back to the evolution thing, is chimpanzees live in trees. Whereas as soon as we had to then walk more than they did, they needed to climb. So, jumping from one branch to another, you might use any of your 4 hands to do that. Whereas we needed to walk. So it's understandable our feet stopped being as functional so that we could walk.
But could we beat a chimpanzee in a race?
Are they going through trees or are they on the ground?
On the ground.
I mean, they are also probably more athletic than we are, if they're to have lived to an age.
So what's the point in us having feet then? What's the benefit?
I think we probably could beat a chimpanzee in a race, but I think that would be because our legs tend to be longer.
But they will run on all 4s as well.
Yes, but they'll
use all 4, so they'll be able to make big leaps that we couldn't possibly, because they're using their upper body strength and their lower body strength.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to change our minds about hands and feet, the relative position.
No.
Yeah, I like hands. I think hands are good. I miss them if they were gone.
Hands are definitely a useful thing.
There's a world of possibilities.
Many jobs you can do.
Where should hands go? Someone else decide, because I don't know. I think they should go fairly high up.
I would say let's put them next to George Foreman grills.
Okay.
That feels pretty low to me, but I guess looking at things above it.
Well, there's a lot of stuff on the list now.
This is true. I'm just going to ignore the fact that some of the things on the list wouldn't be valuable without hands, because that's not necessarily how it works. So yes, hands can be...
Okay, well...
No, that's fair. I think hands can be down by George Foreman grills. Maybe better than the colour blue. I think even Alex would concede that.
Yeah, probably. If I had to either remove blue from the world or lose my hands, I'd probably remove blue from the world.
Okay, that puts hands at number 30, just after grilled cheese sandwiches.
That's fine. And feet...
considerably lower, I'd say.
Yeah. Are feet better than slippers?
Yes.
Well, slippers only do a good thing.
But slippers aren't very good.
But feet are worse. You can have problems with your feet. Slippers just make your feet better.
But also, if you didn't have feet, you'd be in more trouble than if you didn't have slippers.
Well, true, but if you didn't have hands, you'd be in more trouble than if you didn't have Mario.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Are you suggesting there's a problem with this concept?
Not at all.
You? Get off my podcast. Okay, well...
I'd put feet below slippers.
I think above slippers would be more appropriate. Because slippers make my feet less useful, I find. Because I have the problem that I think was talked about when we first talked about slippers, where they basically just fall off my feet, especially the ones that don't have a back on them. So I find myself unable to walk in slippers.
That is a problem with your specific slippers, though. Whereas slippers are solving a flaw in feet.
It's all about me, Gavin. It is all about me.
This is true. But feet get cold. That's the problem with feet. You don't have to wear gloves inside, whereas your feet just get cold.
Yes.
Because they're not getting the circulation. So that's the problem of feet. So slippers are better than feet.
I don't know. Perhaps it's a tie. Are we allowed a tie, Alex?
Well...
Equal 63rd, slippers and feet.
I don't want to set that precedent.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'll concede it for now.
Okay, so you say
I'll
feet
concede
are better
feet
than
can
slippers.
go... Yeah, it's
right,
fine.
Okay, cool.
Well done, everybody.
Whew, that was a
there.
worthwhile discussion. And now we will move on to more of those in The Thing About That. Today's The Thing About That is about something that I've forgotten. What
Shopping.
was it about, guys?
Shopping.
Shopping. Do you want to go first, Gavin? Do you have a good shopping thing?
Well, I've brought clothes shopping for clothes.
Okay.
Because I really hate it. I'm now at the point where I do most of my shopping either online or I research what I want online and go and buy the thing. So for instance, furniture shopping, I know exactly what I'm getting and I go and get it. However, clothes shopping I cannot do online and know that I'm going to like it might look nice, but it might not fit, it might not feel comfortable. So I have to physically go and do it. And I'm not that fashionable, I'm not that into style, so it takes me a long time to find something that I think I like, and I'm not judging it based on my own standards, I'm basing it on what I think other people are going to think about it, which is just stupid. And then I have to try it on, and then finding the right size is always really annoying, and there's never one that's right for you. It's just so much effort, and I have to, I find myself going clothes shopping far more often than I really think I should be, and it's because I have loads of t-shirts that I like to wear. I have, trousers and shorts and stuff that I like to wear. Yes, shorts, Mark. But
Don't wear shorts.
I'm sorry. But whenever I have a new job or ever I need to dress like smart casual or whatever, I always find myself, I don't quite have enough. I always have to go and buy new things. And it can take me 4 or 5 hours and I'm only buying like 2 or 3 things. So clothes shopping, I just do not enjoy it. And, there are people who love clothes shopping, but I just want to go get, if I know I need a shirt, I just want to go in, pick it off the shelf, buy it and leave. But I need to find one I like, find a color I like, check the size, check all the, so much effort.
Yeah, I don't really go clothes shopping very much. Usually I order stuff off Amazon, which has its own problems because you don't really know what size it's going to be, if it's going to fit properly. But I think the reason I don't go is because I would also hate it if I went. But probably because I feel self-conscious about it more than anything. I don't like to buy anything in a shop that I think I will be judged for by the person at the checkout, and I think clothes are the ultimate example of that because they're like,
yeah,
they'll be looking at it and going, you think that's going to look good on you? Okay. Beep.
I think you can probably take the view that they do that for everybody, though. I know exactly what you mean because I feel the same myself, but I think that's a thing that happens to everyone and is not really necessary to worry about too much.
Yeah, probably.
I find a good way to reduce the amount of time you have to spend clothes shopping is when you do find something you like and which fits, you buy essentially 2 of it in possibly slightly different colours.
Yeah.
So there's several shirts I've got that I have a blue one and a pink one of one of them, for example, and t-shirts I have a blue one and a grey one, and I know what style of jeans I like at the moment, so I can buy those off Amazon by just going, well, I want that size in this colour, and there we are, off you go. There's a sort of a subset here which is shoe shopping, which is even worse, if anything.
That's terrible.
I think, but we'll leave that aside for the time being.
Yes.
The other thing I'm quite prone to is if I go to a sale or something like that, I'll be determined to buy a bunch of things, and I'll find one thing I really like, and I'll find about 5 other things that I think, well, that's all right, and I'll probably end up buying 4 of them and only ever wear 2 of them because I realise when I get home that the other 2 are terrible.
Yeah, I've done that where I've made a decision oh yeah, I'm going to wear this. I can become the person who wears this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I wear it once or twice, and especially if someone comments on it, you're like, well, I'm never wearing that again.
Yeah. Have you ever got to buying something in a shop and realising it wasn't at all how you thought it was? For example, I bought a shirt once which had a huge pattern on the back of it, which I hadn't realised. The front of this shirt was really nice, but it had this massive kind of swirly pattern on the back, and I hadn't noticed. I only noticed as they were wrapping it up at the till, and I really should have said, actually, do you know what? I don't want that. But obviously I didn't because I'm me. So I've worn that maybe twice in my life when I can put something over the top and not show this stupid swirly pattern.
Well, that's
on the back
what I
of
mean.
it.
It's like, but you also could have bought that going, yeah, I'm going to be the sort of guy who wears this swirly shirt,
Yeah.
and then you wear it to an event and someone's like, oh, look at that, a nice pattern.
Is that
Something you
supposed
just
to
makes
look
you go,
like
oh
that?
no, I don't ever want to wear this again.
Yeah. I feel your pain, Gavin. I feel your pain.
The thing is, it's a functional thing. It's an important thing. I appreciate your idea of buy 2 of the same thing, but I went jeans shopping at the start of the year because I just wanted one nicer pair of jeans, a more formal but not quite, they're still casual, but a slightly nicer, not worn pair of jeans. So it took me ages to find a pair that fitted because they had so many different styles, and then they all had different measurements. One was stretch fit, other ones were not stretchy, some were slim fit, all these crazy concepts. I'm just like, I just want jeans. And then I found one pair that fitted perfectly, and it was a different size from another pair that fitted me, but the other pair wasn't this elasticated kind. I was like, oh god, this is just driving me nuts. So I bought it. And I was like, well, the first thing you're supposed to do is wash the jeans so that the dye doesn't come out and other things. And they shrunk. And I didn't even wash them at that high a temperature, and they shrunk. and they fitted comfortably before, and now I can't wear them. And I thought if I wear them enough, they'll stretch, but I've not been able to wear them because they just look like skinny jeans now. And I just couldn't bring myself to return them because I was like, that's kind of my fault. So spent $40 on a pair of jeans that I don't wear. And I still haven't got a nice pair of jeans to wear.
Oh, no.
Because I had that horrible experience.
It's a sad story.
So clothes shopping, I think it should go pretty low on the list for me. Now the thing is, none of us seem to be the people who love clothes shopping. Typically and stereotypically, women tend to enjoy it more.
None of the women I know. None of the women I know like.
Yeah, I'm not sure that applies to any women I know. It's just a stereotype. But I would put clothes shopping. Thing is, I don't mind it as much when I have someone with me who I trust to help me make decisions. But when I go on my own, it takes me forever. And I still never get everything I needed. Because I'm also really fussy about price.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not convinced 100% I like it or I'm going to wear it much, I then don't want to spend anywhere near what they're probably charging for it. So I needed a belt at the weekend. I went and got all these other clothes. I needed a belt, but the belts were too expensive. I was like, but I need a belt. I was like, no, I'm going to wear my old one because I'm not spending this much on a piece of leather to strap around my waist. Rawr. So for me, it's similar to getting a haircut on the list. It's something I kind of have to do, but I don't enjoy the experience. I don't really want to have to do it. Somewhere down there for me.
As you were talking, I was thinking this is getting a haircut style of thing. Personally, I find getting a haircut quite a lot worse than clothes shopping, but I don't like either of them.
Because I go and do it, and I don't love the getting a haircut thing, but at least it feels like a little head massage. It takes 10-15 minutes. And then it's done.
Yeah.
The inconvenience to me is less than going clothes shopping, and it causes me less stress. So I'd put it below it.
I think we established on the episode in question that I have far more problems having a haircut than anyone else in the world, because apparently I do it wrong. But yeah, I mean, down there somewhere, I'd be happy to see it. What do you think, Alex?
I mean, I'm thinking back to my only experience of actually being fitted for something, which wasn't technically clothes shopping, because it was just something clothes that I was renting for James and Laura's wedding, but the being fitted was awful. I hated it, and
really,
yeah, I couldn't stand it because for one thing they were just terrible at it. Sorry if you're listening, whatever shop you were, kilt shop, but I hate you. I hate you so much because they took my measurements like on a previous occasion. And then when I came in, they just had them completely wrong, and they were just trying to cram me into like much smaller things. And then they were like blaming me for that, basically going like, "Oh, you're not fitting in this thing." I was like, "Well, you took my measurements, and I know I haven't gained that much weight since then, so bugger off." So yeah,
I think that's a different thing. But having said that,
it is. But it's
the few times I've been fitted in terms of a shopping experience, I've been fitted for suits before. And perhaps the difference is what they were doing there was they were trying to find something they had in stock that you could wear. So they were taking your measurements to just find something they already had. Whereas when you get a suit fitted, they measure you and custom make it to fit you. So you're not trying to fit into something. So like, and that I enjoy because actually I don't have to worry about, is this going to fit me? It will. I don't have to worry about, will this look good? Because there's like 6 people standing around you trying to help you make it look good if you get it in the right sort of place. So like that experience, if I had all my clothes, oh my God, if I could have a nice pair of jeans custom made for me, but not have to pay God knows what to get that done, I'd be so happy. Having a personal shopper would just take away all of this for me, and someone to make sure it fits, and like, oh, that'd be delightful.
It sounds like we should start a business making custom fit jeans for Gavin and people like
specifically just for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, until that happens though, I think clothes shopping sounds like it should be down in the getting a haircut area, did we think?
Yeah, I think it's not as bad as getting a haircut, but that's just me.
Okay.
I seem to think it's worse.
I've never got a haircut, and I very rarely have gone clothes shopping, so don't think I'm a good judge. But my inkling is that I would probably prefer clothes shopping to getting a haircut.
Oh, no, not true. You wouldn't, but sure.
I don't know. Getting a haircut is too intimate for my liking.
Okay.
Yay.
Clothes shopping. Cool. Okay, I'll go next then, I guess.
Yeah, go on.
My one is sort of related to that in a way, because I mentioned how I don't like being judged by the people that I'm buying stuff from. And in the last decade or so, a new innovation came along that really helped with that, and it's the self-service checkout.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I can't say enough. Actually, I have a few problems with them, but in general, I'm very happy that they exist because it means that I'm not afraid to go to the shops in general. I used to have a lot of problems with it, partly because of social anxiety, which I've mentioned before on this podcast quite a lot, because it comes up in a lot of aspects of my life. But yes, I just didn't like basically just parading what I'm buying in front of a stranger and being like, hey, look, I'm buying this and this and this. It seemed weird, and I was just constantly thinking I'm being judged for that. And I know that if they're judging one person, they're probably judging everyone, and it's never really going to have an impact on me whether they're judging me or not. But still, it made me uncomfortable. So self-service checkouts are lovely, and they just let you scan your own stuff, put it in a bag, pay and go without ever having to interact with a human. And in theory, that's great. Although, probably about, I'd say, 30% of the time, something goes wrong with the one that I'm using, and someone has to come over.
I was going to say that would all be great if it was true. But...
Yes. And I've got better at using them in a way that does not result in that happening. The first few times that I used them, it was pretty confusing, and I wasn't really sure what to do entirely, but now I've got used to them. But still, they still have technical problems on a ridiculously frequent basis.
Yes.
If you put something in the bag and it thinks it's heavier than it should be, and it's like, hey, you're trying to steal stuff. It doesn't actually say that, but that's the implication. So someone has to come over and be like, beep. They never even check what's going on. They just flash their thing in front of the scanner, and that fixes it. So it's not too bad. You basically just have to nod at them. Which I've got better at nodding at people, so I can do that now.
But I've had times when we've been standing at the self-checkouts and it's going wrong, and the person who's supposed to be there to fix things is either otherwise engaged with someone else, or even worse, is nowhere to be seen. And I've taken to, particularly when it's very quiet, that just seems insane to me. During the busy times, I can understand them having other things, but when it's otherwise quiet, I just stand there going, help, help, just awkwardly shouting it. It's just so frustrating when that happens. There are definitely times I've been at the shops when it's quicker and faster and more convenient just to go to someone who's serving.
Yeah, get a professional to do it, yes. So in our local supermarket, they've kind of replaced, I don't know, about half the checkouts with self-checkouts. So you would think there would be 6 people who used to work on the checkouts who'd be available to do self-checkout things, but mysteriously there's only one. And she's usually talking to the guy stacking the shelves at the end of the dairy aisle. So it's very difficult to get any help with anything. And obviously if you're buying beer or anything like that, then you need to speak to someone who agrees that you're not 18 anymore. I thought about saying self-checkouts for this thing as well, and I'd have said everything that you said, Alex, and I'd probably have said everything that Gavin said as well. So I think we're all probably in fierce agreement here.
Okay. Well, I do have some. There are some downsides to them. You mentioned some of them, but the easiest and most convenient way of shopping that I've experienced was actually scan as you go shopping.
Yeah, people talk about this. I've never tried it myself, but it looks good.
I mean, it's maybe not as valuable if you're just getting a small basket of things, which is maybe more common. But if you're going on a big shop, literally, you just scan the stuff as you go. At the end, you don't have the issue because it doesn't weigh your stuff. So you don't have the issue of putting things in bags. You can literally scan it and put it straight into the bags in your trolley. And then when you're done, you don't have to go through everything and scan it. You've done it all, and it's already all in the bags. But the only downside is that sometimes they'll randomly, the equivalent of them coming over when the weight doesn't match is they sometimes have to come over and just scan a few random items. Right. So what'll happen is it'll just say you've been selected for a random scan. They'll come over and they'll just beep 4 things, and then they're like, yep, those 4 things you pay, you've already put, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
that
sense,
is more convenient, and there's often fewer people doing it. So literally all you have to do is just go and pay. So it's in and out. And I get particularly annoyed when people take large trolleys of shopping into the self-checkout bit. I think the self-checkout should also have the 15 items or fewer rule. Maybe it does in certain places, but the number of people I see with trolleys of stuff, and I'm like, that's going to take you forever. Go to an actual person who can speed up you. It's actually quicker for you to go to a person, and it means that these self-checkouts are flowing more people through them quickly.
Well, my method of shopping involves buying a basket as full as possible of things, because I know if I've bought about a basket full, I probably have the right amount of stuff. So I'm probably one of those people who's holding you up, Gavin.
Yeah, I maybe as well.
But if it's in a basket, it's not. I mean, I'm talking about people who take a trolley worth.
Yeah. Well, they do in our supermarket now have self-checkouts for baskets and self-checkouts for trolleys.
Oh, okay.
With belts and everything, but I can't imagine why you would want to do that.
I'd allow that.
One more thing we should probably mention is, I'm guessing the reason that they don't have as many people as you would expect manning them is because the reason that they introduced them in the first place is to save money and to reduce their staff.
Yes.
So, I mean, it does make me feel a little bit like I'm living in some weird dystopia where humans are being replaced with robots, and I feel a little bit guilty for it sometimes.
They're not. That's not what's happening. They're replacing the human with you, the customer. You, the customer, are just doing exactly what that human does.
Yeah, true, I guess.
You are scanning it instead of them.
And I suppose I'm saying they've replaced half the checkouts with self ones, and actually probably those checkouts were never open anyway most of the time. So I really hope a load of people haven't been made redundant or whatever, but I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Over time, it's doubtless that it's had a little bit of impact like that, but again, it's not. I think it's probably inconsequential. The thing that it does do is late at night, when they do only have one person on the checkout, it's a lot easier because if they have the self-checkouts open, then people can keep serving themselves. Those self-serving bastards.
Yeah, so I do get a little bit of, in place of the judgment for what I'm buying, I get a little bit of I wonder if they're looking over at me and going, you bastard, you're going to cause me to lose my job soon if you keep going to those self-checkouts. But I don't know if they're really thinking that.
No, they're not.
My head. Okay, thanks. Thank you for.
I don't think anyone likes working on the checkouts anyway. I think they all prefer doing literally anything else.
People will always be more annoyed about the immigrants coming over taking their jobs than the robots replacing them.
Oh dear.
Unfortunate truth.
It's the robots we have to worry about, though. They're going to be the ones who kill us.
Yeah, that's going to be the problem.
Yes, true.
Where do we put self-checkouts then? I guess I put it somewhere in the sort of practical things in the middle that aren't that exciting, but I like them, but...
Like feet.
I'd probably put them higher than feet.
So at the ankle or the knee?
Might put them around old book smell or something, but I don't know.
I'd put them above old book smell.
Just above it, or...?
Yeah, just above it.
Yeah, I can see that. Why not?
Cool, right.
And we haven't even talked about all the silly things they say and the phrasing of all the error messages.
Oh yeah. Thank you for using Sainsbury's self-checkout.
I want to meet the guy from Tesco's who decided that a male voice saying, all your Tesco points add up, is less annoying than a female voice saying, club card acknowledged. Because I preferred the old one, I have to say.
Scan your club cards to earn club card points. Yeah, there's a lot of little catchphrases. Unexpected item in bagging area. Remove this item before continuing.
Have you guys ever been to a Morrison's self-checkout?
Oh yes, I was at one earlier today.
I don't know if it's still the same, but the Morrison's near me, it was like they installed them, but it was like they were from the 80s and they were prototypes. The Tesco ones are fancy and like nice and clean, and the Sainsbury's ones and the Asda ones. This was literally like an old BBC computer style thing. The user interface was horribly designed. It was a computerized voice. The whole thing was just like, this is very old school.
They've got new ones now. I know exactly what you mean, but they do have new ones now, and they're much better. They're actually better than other people's.
Oh, interesting.
The ones that they've always been really bad. Although again, they've also recently been replaced. The really bad ones were Sainsbury's, which, as a software developer, here we go. I'm going to be boring now. They had a massive bug, which was it didn't tell you the actual price when you got to the end. It didn't take off any of the discounts unless you went all the way to the end. Said you wanted to pay, then went back out of the choosing to pay, then it took the amount off, and then you could go forward again. And rather than fix this bug, they put a sticker on every Sainsbury's self-checkout in the country explaining that if you wanted to see the actual price, you had to go to the end, then go back, and then go forward again. This is
that's stupid.
Shit
that's
beyond
really stupid.
belief.
Yeah. Anyway.
So we've talked now twice about self-checkout.
Yes, so we should probably move on to your thing, Mark.
My thing about shopping is, have you brought your own bags?
Oh.
That's my thing about shopping, which is currently all the rage. Obviously, here in Scotland, we have for a little while had a law about having to pay for carrier bags. I know they have it in England now as well, and all the other bits of the UK. I don't know what you have over there in California.
They were ahead of us in California, because I was actually over here when they introduced it in the UK. So I was doing it here, and then I came back and I was like, oh, they're now doing it here.
Well, there you go. So I don't mind having to pay for a bag. I don't mind having to bring my own bag with me. What I do mind is having to carry the bag around the store in order to get to the end. Because there's never anywhere to put it. You've got this massive handful of carrier bags that you have to somehow stuff into the corner of a trolley, or stuff into a pocket, or stuff into the edge of a basket. As I was saying earlier on, I like to buy exactly a basket's worth of stuff, and there's a kind of a side issue there that I'll usually put my own bags in the bottom of the basket, which means I have to get everything out of the basket before I can start packing anything from the basket. So, there's a problem there, especially with the self-checkout thing. So what we need is a good system. I don't know, maybe we could bring our own bags on the way into the store, leave them somewhere and pick them up later, or we could exchange them for other ones, or I don't know what. But the current system is unsustainable. That's what I think. And nobody else cares.
I'm slightly less bothered by that, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Well, partly that's another reason for you to try the scan as you go, because you just place things directly in
the bag. Yeah, definitely.
That's good. But the other thing is, if I'm doing a big shop, I tend to just bring an IKEA bag with me, one of those big old blue ones, and just put everything in it. I might put a couple of smaller bags in that bag for smaller, delicate things, but generally, like, just put it all in that one bag because it's easier to carry. Rather than having all these little bags, like, on your fingers and crushing your fingers, you can carry this one huge bag with both hands or put it on your shoulder and it has everything in it. It's just so much easier, and packing, you just literally throw everything in. Because you're just going to unpack it when you get home.
But you still have to put everything into the bag. Well, you would put everything in the bag on the way round, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that. With Scan As You Go, you can do that. Or even if you're just shopping, at the end of it, you just put it all, like, they scan it and you put it all in the big bag. IKEA bag, way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I have some big bags from Morrison's, I think, and they're not quite IKEA size, but they're nearly. I have a couple of them, but I find they're the worst because I've nowhere to put those while I walk around the shop. That doesn't get in the way of actually doing shopping.
You can actually fold an IKEA bag down and fit it in your back pocket.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I do that all the time. But whereas I feel like with other bags, if you have lots of them, you kind of scrunch them up, and they just got too much volume to do that.
I think that depends how tight your jeans are, though, Gavin, I think.
That's true. Well, as we discussed, mine shrunk recently, so...
If you're only buying a basket's worth of stuff, then surely you don't need more than about 2 or 3 bags.
That's true.
You've not seen how much I can get in a basket.
Whoa.
At which point I say, why don't you just get a trolley? Because I hate carrying
Can't you apply
heavy
those
baskets.
skills to getting it into the bag at the end, then?
Well, it's getting the bag out from underneath all of the things so that I have the bag ready to put the thing into it, you see. That's the problem I have. It's obviously a very niche problem.
It's the eternal conundrum.
Here's a solution.
Yeah.
Take 2 baskets and have one inside the other, and then put the bags in between the 2 baskets.
Oh my god.
Then when you get to the end, you just take the bottom basket out and the bags have been wedged in between the 2.
I'm going to say that's incredible. However,
it also is
I
probably
think
impractical because most handles of baskets won't fit around the top layer
I think
of
there's
baskets,
a problem with it. I think it won't work.
Oh, that's true.
It's a brilliant
but
idea.
It was ingenious if the baskets were designed differently.
It's a brilliant idea other than it won't work.
Yeah.
Other than that slight flaw, yeah.
So if I did that and took 2 very large heavy-duty crocodile clips, bulldog clips, that might work. Or I could get a trolley. I mean, you're right.
You are just increasing the amount of stuff that you have to bring with you. You have to remember to bring not only your own bags, but crocodile clips to secure the 2 baskets together, so your bag storage basket doesn't fall off the bottom of your food storage basket.
Or just use a trolley.
And another thing, where are you supposed to keep these bags in your house?
You mean you don't have a bag closet? A closet filled with bags?
Well, yes, but and another thing, I used to have a closet filled with bags that I used as bin bags after they'd been used as carrier bags from the shop. But I can't now because I have to reuse them, so I have to buy bin bags. This is terrible.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to do that.
So
that is a bit more.
Bringing your own bags. This is an awful thing. It's worse than Piers Morgan. Here we go.
Now, I think it's worth talking about the environmental impact, though.
Oh, okay. If you must.
If we're including that in this, that bringing your own bags is the alternative to using new bags every single time, then I don't really mind the inconvenience because I feel so much guilt, particularly given how certain governments are moving against fixing climate change. Perhaps every little helps.
Made this subject a lot heavier.
Sorry, I'm making everything heavy at the moment. But, we have to, in the same way that I think Nutella is great, you have to consider some of the negatives, like using new bags every time is not good for the environment.
I agree with you. I think reusing bags is a great thing. I just find I sort of amuse myself every time that I get myself into a massive comedy of errors doing it wrong, basically.
It's a nuisance.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was back home, I used to just keep a couple of plastic bags inside my jacket pocket.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work here because I don't even wear a jacket.
I don't know if anyone else has this issue. In fact, that's a lie. I'm sure no one else in the world has this issue. But I always feel like I have to bring bags that match the shop that I'm going to, because I'd feel bad putting stuff into a Sainsbury's bag in Tesco or vice versa.
I have a great story about that. When all of this first started years ago, before it was required to use your own bags, when you could just optionally bring back your bags for life, I took my Tesco bags for life to Waitrose. I was doing a single shop at Waitrose for the reason I forget. And they said, have you brought your own bags? I said, yeah, I've got these. And the lady on the checkout basically went, give me them here. Took them off me and gave me Waitrose bags instead.
Wow.
That's fun. That kind of defeats the whole, like, not
Absolutely.
using new bags thing.
Absolutely.
But at least it looks like you're a fancier person now.
It was funny.
I mean, in a sense, bags are sort of free advertising for them as well.
Yeah.
So they're probably happier if you're walking around with Waitrose bags.
Yeah.
It's probably worth 5p to them.
Well, 12p because they were bags for life.
Wow.
My thing to your thing, Alex, about bringing the appropriate brand is surely if you bring Tesco bags, but then you don't pay for any bags, someone can say, hey, you just took some bags. Whereas if you have a bag from an outside shop, no one can... I know. It's very unlikely. To be honest, you could probably take like 10 new bags and not pay for them and no one's going to...
Probably, yeah.
On self-checkout, certainly.
There's a lot you could do to full self-checkouts, and I've thought about that, but I'd never actually done it.
No, of course.
So where would you put this bag situation?
This have you brought your own bag thing.
Is that what you want to call it?
Let's call it the have you brought your own bag thing. Because there's a side issue where the person on the checkout will say, do you need any bags? Despite the fact they can see you clearly struggling past them with 15 bags coming out of every orifice of your coat as you go past. But which is why I want to call it that.
I want to call it bag orifices.
Bag orifices. Where do we want to put this? I mean, Gavin's right. It's a good thing. We should look after the environment. Everybody should look after the environment.
But it's not that exciting.
It's not very exciting. It's not.
It's a slight hassle.
It's a slight
hassle. It's not single-handedly going to save the environment.
As I'm fond of saying on this podcast, it's a bit of a faff. So, is it? I mean, we could put it near self-service checkouts, you know. Keep these things together. Some semblance of order here.
No, I think self-service checkouts have more convenience. I would say that bringing your own bags is much more faffy. Mm-hmm. You know, I'd rather have Cocoa Pops.
Is it a bit? It's a bit like gift wrapping, you know.
I'd rather
have a bowl of
Cocoa Pops. Yeah. Can we put "Have you brought your own bags" just under video conferencing?
Sure, that would
be number 71, just slightly better than the concept of wrapping gifts.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Have you brought your own bags? Open brackets, faff, close brackets.
For now, we'll go with that. Faff. Okay. Woo! Oh, that was a good lot of stuff. I think that's everything for today, is it? Have we done everything? Everyone's shopping-related things?
I think that's all the things.
Cool, that's all the things. So now we have nudges and grudges again. Oof, what's going to happen here? I'm on tenterhooks.
I would like to grudge party balloons by 3.
Okay, so the little freshly squeezed lemon juice.
Obviously.
No, grudge. 3 down.
Above you 17 still. Gavin?
Okay, well, the time has come for the compass. But unfortunately, there was a bigger injustice in this very episode.
Oh, no.
So now I'm going to have to move feet one above slippers.
Okay. Wait, it is.
It already is.
Above
slippers. Sorry, slippers one above feet. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Oh, okay.
Slippers are better than feet.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
I'm sure there was something I was looking at earlier going, that's not right. Okay, I'm gonna do something which might be controversial for Ewan, but he's not here, so I'm gonna do it. Gonna move jealousy down below Piers Morgan again.
Oh, see, I disagree with that. I agreed with Ewan's point.
It's literally the opposite of what he did on a previous episode, but I'm gonna do it.
I agreed with Ewan's argument that there can be some good from, you know, jealousy can inspire or can motivate people to do better. Again, I don't think jealousy is necessarily a good thing, but you have to acknowledge that it can be a motivator and it can have some good sides. Whereas I think in theory, Piers Morgan does not.
In theory, I can see that argument, but in practice, I don't know if I've ever been motivated by it in a good way.
Okay.
So I'm just going to do that for now. It'll probably change again because I'm sure Piers Morgan will do something that annoys someone enough for them to grudge him down again.
I'm sure.
But yes, until that day, that's the way things are. Okay, so we now have 94 things on the list. Probably next time we will pass the 100 mark, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. So that's something to look forward to in episode 13. But until then, the best thing in the world is water. The worst thing in the world is homeopathic medicine. A new entry there from Gavin. Woo, it's exciting. Mm-hmm. Anyone got anything more to say, or shall we call it a day?
Well, ironically, homeopathic medicine has the same properties as water.
They are basically the same thing.
Wow, yeah, that's a very sort of interesting, profound sort of statement there. Basically, the best thing in the world is the same as the worst thing in the world. It's all a big circle. Ooh.
Yeah.
We have a circular list.
So, yeah. Don't know where to go from that observation.
Hey, you wanted something interesting? There you go.
Yeah, that is. I agree. That's very interesting. Okay, so until next time, guys. I will. That doesn't make sense. I was gonna say until next time. I'll see you next time. Let's just go with that. Sounds
until
like it makes sense.
Until next time. See you next time.
That can be our catchphrase. Until next time. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Everything vs. Everything. Today's panellists were Gavin Lane, Mark Minto, and me, Alex Perry. Visit our website at everythingveverything.wordpress.com. Subscribe to our RSS feed, review us on iTunes, and all that good stuff. You can also check out my other silly podcast, Rainy Day Adventure Club, at rainydayadventureclub.wordpress.com. Thanks for listening. See you next week.